Okay, get ready here. I think I'm ready. I think I have everything in place. Almost sure I do, and I do. Hi everybody! Welcome to Mondays with Marc. I'm Marc, and we are on your favorite YouTube channel, SmokeySteveAndMarc, right? Right? Yes. How are you? It's great to see you. Oh man, we have a great video for you tonight. Today I had a few requests to do this, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while because it's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing, and kind of believe in. Today we're going to learn the proper way of doing a smudging or a home cleansing. Now, before we get to that though, I have some chit chat for you, of course, right? So what I'm going to do is, down in the comments, we'll put a timestamp on when the instructional part of the video starts, when the smudging starts. We'll put the little timestamp down in the comments, so if you're here just to see how to do a smudging, you can skip ahead if you'd like, okay? But first and most importantly, how are you doing? I hope your Monday was fantastic. I know that might be a stretch because it is Monday after all, but I hope it was good, and I hope your weekend was great, and I hope everybody's positive and happy. I had a great weekend. I think I told you last night, if you watched, that I had like a break in my my health. I felt very well yesterday. Prior to that, for a few weeks, it was a little rough, mentally and physically. I was very stiff. We've had some very crazy weather here, let me tell you. It was like down to 10 degrees, then it was up to 62, then it was back down. It was just crazy, and I think that kind of wreaks havoc, especially for people who have autoimmune disorders, lupus and RA and things like that. I think that it can really play havoc on that. But in my case, I was extremely fatigued and very stiff, and my legs were swollen. It sucked, and it lasted for, gosh, it was a couple weeks before it, quote, broke, and it did yesterday. So I was very happy with that, and I feel okay today. So I am just rolling with it, and I'm gonna ride the wave, right, and think positively, and I hope that it's like a long string of days that I feel good, right? And I hope you're feeling good too. So, let's see, catch you up. Last week, yes. Thank you so much for all the comments. I got so many comments and so many suggestions that I just was like, whoa, man, right? So, I mean, moving ahead, we're going to continue talking about Mondays with Marc. Well, the whole channel too, why not? But Mondays with Marc, I'm going to stay with doing all of our DIYs and our crafting. Some cooking and some recipes. I think that will be fun too. Gardening's coming up. We can't forget that. That's coming up. I had quite a few requests to do a video about container gardening, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't think of this before then. So thank you for that comment too, because before I lived here, I was in another apartment years ago, and I didn't have access to the yard like I do here. I couldn't plant a garden, so I did container gardens. So I think that'll be a great one. So I'm working on that. What else here? Garden crafts, DIY, gardening, cooking, and all the other stuff. Oh yeah, more out and about, kind of like traveling videos, things like that. So I'm very excited to move forward with Mondays with Marc. And again, I thank you so much for all of your suggestions and your comments. You know how I get. I double think myself. I mean, I do that with every single video I do. I'm like, oh my gosh, what should I say? What shouldn't I say? Was it good? Was it bad? What do they want to do? Should I do a craft? Should I do that? It's like nuts, let me tell you sometimes. But your comments just kind of put me at ease. I'm happy with what we're doing on Mondays with Marc, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm going to use all of your suggestions and come up with some fun and entertaining content. And Steve and I had talked about our channel, and we are doing the same for all of our other videos too, keeping all the same fun segments and adding some new ones. I'm excited going forward, and I hope you are too. So thank you so much for that. And our, postcard, our viewer challenge, the postcards are still on, and that's, I started making the backdrop. And if you want to be part of the viewer challenge, all we're doing is saying, send us a postcard from your city, your state, your town, your country, and we'll read it on air, and then I'm going to incorporate it into a permanent backdrop for all to see. So any kind of postcard works, like this one from North Carolina from Clever Girl 320. Hey, Crystal. Yeah, we have a lot. We have 33 U.S. states, and we have 8 countries so far. So get those postcards in. We'll read them on air, then we'll put them up in the backdrop. And we're also working on our next special for you, and our last one, the Halloween one, was a lot of fun. So we're planning a fun little special episode for you too. So I guess I've talked your ear off enough. Why don't we get on to the topic of today's video, and that is smudging or sage burning. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to cleanse our house of negative energy. Now, I wrote a lot of notes down. I have notes everywhere. I have some in front of me because you know how I get. I get so tongue-tied and nervous when I'm doing a video that I didn't want to forget anything. So I wrote it all down. Now if I could just read it, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, so if you are unfamiliar with what a cleansing is, or a smudging or sage burning is, sage burning or smudging is basically a sacred practice, and it can be traced back through many cultures over thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The idea is that, like, the smoke is purifying from what we are going to burn, and it captures all the negativity and ascends it to the heavens, right? And I remember back in my Catholic days, I remember being in church and lighting incense and saying a prayer and visualizing my prayers being taken up to heaven. It was kind of cool. It just like totally reminded me of that, It's very, very cool. So what you need, well, let's not jump ahead. Let's just do that. Okay. So now I have written down here some things I want to tell you. So for some cultures, such as those like in Europe and things like that, smudging also had like practical purpose as well. Like, for example, it would be used to fumigate parasites and bugs from animals and from people. And I find the history of smudging to be very, very fascinating too, because way long before we had scientists and test labs and that, those cultures and those people already understood the benefits of burning sage, and then and it's proven to be very, very effective in antibacterial properties in modern culture, in modern scientific cultures too. For example, I have some stuff that I actually want to read from you. I had printed this out and then I wrote some notes too after doing some research on it. It's believed that the smoke releases negative ions, which has been linked to studies that give you a more positive mood and like a calming effect, among other benefits too. But negative ions are also created by the effects of sunlight and water. So it's not too surprising that you go outside and get a little sun or sit by a waterfall or something and you get that relaxing feeling or that calming feeling. It's similar to that, in high enough concentrations, negative ions are released through burning sage and smudging, can clear up the air of all kinds of things: mold, spores, pollen, pet dander, odors, cigarette smoke, bacteria, viruses, dust, and other hazardous airborne particles. And they do this by attaching to the positive ions, thus making it too heavy for it to remain airborne. Make sure I get that right. And then what happens is they fall to the floor or they attach to a nearby surface, thus removing them from the air that we breathe. And it actually, helps, eliminate some certain airborne illnesses and respiratory things. I found that to be very fascinating too. Due to all of our electric things like our TVs and our sweepers and our washing machines, as well as our carpets and our upholstery, they're very, very well known to attract that and act as like positive ion prisms, they call them, right? And that's why negative ions that occur from smudging can be so beneficial to counteract those effects. So it's no surprise that doing a smudging in your home can remove negative energy, and they were able to kind of prove that on a like molecular level. I just find those type of things so interesting. Now, we'll get to smudging. So, the word smudge actually refers to the bowl or the container that you use to burn your sacred herb or your sacred plant. It's the ceremonial burning of these herbs that purifies a place or a person or an object. And there's a lot of other reasons for smudging, or other reasons you would do a smudging or a cleansing. One is to remove, if you believe in this, to remove unwanted spirits or demons from your home. It's also to release energetic relationships, attachments. It's also, sometimes, like we talked about, sending prayers up to the heavens. But today, we're talking about cleansing our home and purifying our home. Now, it's believed that a person's energy is much like, say, perfume, so to speak. When a person comes in and, like their vibe kind of rubs off on you and it tends to linger a little while, like the same can be said true for your home as well. It can, get some negative energy in there and it can sort of linger and build upon itself, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk about purifying all of that, kind of like washing that perfume off, so to speak, okay? So to do this, we're going to need some materials, and very, very simple. So, to do this, we're going to need a sacred plant or herb. Now, in our case, we're going to use white sage, a sage bundle like this. And this year, this was the only herb I didn't grow in my garden last year. Do you believe that was sage? Duh. Anyway, this year, though, I have an entire plot that I'm going to plant sage in so I can make my own sage bundles for next year. So, but don't worry, you don't have to go out and try to find white sage like this. These sage smudge sticks, they call them, are available anywhere. I got these on Amazon. And you can find them even in some of your larger mega stores too, like Walmart. The bigger Walmarts and stuff have them. But I would just go online and get them. They're very inexpensive. They smell fantastic. In addition to that, you'll need a container of some sort that we're going to use to burn it in. Now I'm using a seashell that a very dear friend gave to me, and that's what we're going to use today. But any bowl will do. A lot of this, well, here, let's get to that. Now, some people like to use a feather to kind of push the smoke around. I totally prefer to use my hand to do it, but hey, go for it. It's all about what you want to personalize it, okay? So, like, for example, the container, this is special to me. This was a gift that was given to me, so that's why I'm using it. A lot of this is about visualization and making things, like, personal to oneself, okay? Now, I think we got that right. Other than make it personal, good. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is set up our space. Now, we're going to do an easy cleansing. We're not going to get like so in depth that it makes it overwhelming. Okay, we're going to do a very basic, easy cleansing. So, number one, set up your space. Some people call it an altar. You could just use a table. You can just have it right in front of you on a clipboard if you'd like. Okay, but I would encourage you to make it personal. For example, behind me, I have all the elements behind me. I have air. Here, let me turn around. I'll show you. I have fire. My candle is lit. I have a feather for air. I have a bowl here that's filled with dirt for earth. and I have a vessel that has water in it. So I have water, air, fire, and earth. Let me put that back behind me. I also have my little figure. This was a kitty cat that belonged to my mother. It's very special to me. I have some crystals and herbs on here. Get yourself a quartz crystal. Can't go wrong with this. Very, very purifying. I have that there. Oh, I'm a big St. Michael fan, so I have my St. Michael medallion behind me. So I encourage you, make it personal. Get some things that comfort you and surround yourself with them, or put them on your table, or if you're going to set up an official altar, just make it personal, okay? But basically all you need is a smudge stick, a bowl, and your hand, all right? Okay, 2. Now this is totally optional. I don't do this, but I felt that I had to mention this because so many cultures do this. When you're doing a home cleansing, they say to go around and open every closet, every drawer, every cabinet, open the doors on everything before you start. I tend to do it as I go along. I kind of, billow the smoke that way. I don't tend to open everything and then close it, okay? Number 3, and probably the most important thing, prepare yourself. You want to be in a present and peaceful state. You don't want to be thinking about bills or work or anything that brings you down. You don't want to be thinking about tomorrow. You want to be present and as peaceful and as clear as you possibly can. Like, your belief is a greater part of making a cleansing work. It truly, truly is. It's easy to get it wrong or ineffective, by not having kind of the right mindset, if you know what I mean. Like, if you go into this totally believing that it's all bullcrap and it's not going to work, chances are it's not going to be that effective for you, So for the skeptics out there, I say, you know what? Just open your mind a little bit, give it a whirl. What's the worst that can happen? Your house will smell nice, right? Give it a whirl. And again, and if you don't understand how it works, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it won't work, right? Like, just give it a chance, So, we're calm, we're peaceful, our mind is clear, we're surrounded by things that comfort us, we're visualizing positive energy and nice things, okay? Now, we are going to light our smudge stick. Nothing fancy. Some people get all fancy. They have to have a special thing to light it with, or you can light it with your candle, whatever. I just say light it. Whatever you have to do, light it. There we go, and you'll see it'll start to turn red. Okay, now it's on fire. Let it go for a minute. I can already smell it. It smells so good. All right, so now, good, and it went out, and now we have our smoke. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do after it's lit, I want to make sure I'm getting those right? Okay, so first we're going to state our intentions, or pray if you'd like to call it. Now, I have one here that I'm going to read to you. This is the one that I use every time I do a cleansing, and I think it's so wonderful, okay? What I say before, while I'm doing this is, cleanse this house and make it clear. Only good may enter here. That is stating my intention, okay? And now we're going to walk through the house holding our container like this to catch any ash that may fall off. And we're going to cleanse our home. And to do this, you're going to want to simply allow the smoke to billow, and you're going to walk from room to room, allowing the smoke to permeate every corner of every room in your home. Get your window seals, get it into the closets, your cabinets, give them a little smudging too, go into the bathroom. You just want to make sure that we're purifying the entire home, every single space of your home, all the while stating your intentions, and that is, cleanse this house and make it clear. Only good may enter here, and repeat and repeat and repeat, all the while visualizing positive energy, everything positive, and continue until you've done your entire house. Now you can either do this part first or at the end. I prefer to do this at the end. I'm not exactly sure why. You want to cleanse your own soul. So you're going to have the smoke go all over your body from head to toe and allow the smoke to wash over you. Like that visualization, wash over you. We're washing the negativity away. Okay? So now that you have gone through your entire house and it's all permeated with this wonderful smelling smoke, you're going to extinguish your smudge stick. You can do that just like you would a cigarette, or you can run it under a little bit of water and set it back on your space that you have set up. Your table, your altar, your clipboard, whatever you have, okay? And finally, you want to open a window or your door or something like that and allow the smoke to purge out, carrying all the negativity with it. Allow it to stay open for a few minutes, visualizing all the negative energy leaving your home, leaving nothing but lightness and positive energy. And most importantly, you're going to want to sit and just be for a moment. Feel the lightness. Feel the positive energy around you. Okay? And there you have a proper smudging or house cleaning. Okay? Now we have a nice purified house and it's all positive. What are we going to do next? Oh, it's so exciting. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed that. At least I hope you found it informational, entertaining, whatever. Thank you so much for watching. It was fantastic spending time with you. Please like, subscribe, comment. Check us out on Facebook, SmokeySteveAndMarc. I'll be doing a post tomorrow on this cleansing. Follow us on Instagram. All of our contact information is below. Our address, all of that is all listed below. Thank you again for watching. And remember, everybody, stay positive. We'll see you next time. Ciao, everybody.